We can walk into a place and that'll make people fearful just knowing that it's rolling thick.
Where the sissies at, cuz? That's on 8 straight gangster, nigga.
Welcome to Boys in the Hood TV. Today we tapping into what's called the first ever Crip on Crip war in Los Angeles. Rollin 60s neighborhood Crips versus A-Tray Gangster Crips. Before these sets were ever established, Tookie Williams formed the original West Side Crips and Raymond Washington formed the original East Side Crips. The Rollin 60s and the A-Tray Gangsters both traced their roots to the 1970s and west side of South Los Angeles. The 60s territory centers roughly between Slauson Avenue and Florence Avenue, from Western Avenue over toward Crenshaw Boulevard. Rayford Big Sidewinder Miles was a key founder of the A-Trays. The A-Trays took their name from 83rd Street at the heart of their turf, an area stretching roughly from Gage Avenue to Manchester Avenue between Van Ness and Vermont. Initially, these two Crip sets were allies, even fighting side by side against common enemies. Both gangs grew into large, feared Crip sets. By the 1980s, Rollin 60s had hundreds of members, with police estimating membership in the thousands. And A-Trays likewise earned a reputation as one of LA's most violent gangs. Up until this point, like any hood, there would be squabbles amongst each other, but nothing beyond that. But in March 1979, a violent incident shattered the alliance and sparked a feud that still smolders decades later. A seemingly routine after-school fistfight between a Rollin 60s affiliate and an A-Tray turned deadly when a new A-Tray member, Daryl Oaks, pulled a gun.
Homies felt offended. We got to fight Friday. After school, we got to fight. You know how it is. They went on the side of Hobart. Friday, homies, head up. That's what usual do. Them is our type. 60s is our dogs. We ain't tripping. Head up, handle that beef, squash it, step on. Fatty started fighting with Tyrone. Tyrone's brother was Big Rick, OG 60, rider, moneymaker, hustler, thug motherfucker. Him and Fatty fighting. Boom, bad, boom, both big youngsters. Boo, bad, boo, bad, 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 boo. Squalling. Fool named Daryl Oaks, the hood just recruited. He was really from 9-0. Went around the corner, got the strap, the homie. Came back, he was on the hood like 2 days. He thought it was something more serious than just the fisticuffs, and that's all it was. And it's 79. Ooh, this is the 70s. It's September, 79. Man, it's still the 70s. It's all about this, fool. Fool come back with the heat, tell Fatty move, dump, boom, boom. Kill Tyrone, shoot him in the head and the chest. Shoot Bogart, boom, from the 60s in the stomach. Rest of them break. We all break too, like damn!
He shot and killed Tyrone Hardiman, a 15-year-old Rollin 60s youth. Hardiman's death was reportedly the flashpoint. Almost immediately, the two sets fell into open warfare.
60s coming to the hood though. Big Rick, the OG, baby face. All they wanted to shoot her. Killed their brother. We don't know him. We didn't. He just started claiming the hood in 2 days. Fools them took it as a sign of us saying we ain't giving him up. We threw a big meeting, big Sidewinder, Keystone, all them from the 60s, Big Joe Rat, Mumbles, Mumpy. The meeting became a big gang fight. From that point, September 27th, 1979, the Rollin 60s and the A-Trays have been mortal enemies.
This internal Crip-on-Crip conflict was unprecedented at the time, forcing other Crip gangs to choose sides between the neighborhood Crips, aligned with R60s, or Gangster Crips, aligned with ETGs. In the month of November, A-Tray member Lucky Bell was at the Rosecrans skating rink. He was approached by a 60s member named Mumpy. Mumpy was said to be wearing a brown jogging suit. At some point, Mumpy could be heard yelling at Lucky, "Since one of my homeboys died, one of yours gotta die." This led to a fist fight which was eventually broken up. Later that day, Lucky was on his porch and was ambushed and was shot 6 times in the face. According to witnesses, a man wearing a brown jogging suit was seen fleeing the area immediately after the shots.
We was at the skating rink Sunday night, at Rosecrans skating rink. And so when we back there, the homie from Hoover was talking crazy with a from 111. They was in this beef. They was beefing at the time. And so Cuz was sitting on the thing And he was looking at me, all mean mugging. Nigga asked me where I'm from. I told him I'm from neighborhood. Because these niggas is strapped. So I need to get my gun. So when I get it, now I confront it, right? So I'm like, damn, what you say? But lo and behold, it was behind him. He was trying to pull out a shotgun, right? So I drew my shit on it. Like, if you pull it, I'd kill you right here. But come to find out, he was from A-Tray Gangster. So what happened was we end up leaving. The nigga get killed that same night.
Just weeks later, the 8 struck back. In December of 1979, shots rang out and multiple people were wounded. Among the victims was Rollin 60s member Thomas Pimp Martin, who was fatally struck. It was said the shooter was said to be a well-known 8 After these back-to-back retaliation hits, the war was just heating up. The summer of 1980 in late August, 17-year-old 8 gangster Cedric Diggs, better known as Tit Tit, was murdered in an ambush by Rollin 60s members. In a brazen act of brutality, after shooting Diggs, the assailants reportedly circled back and ran him over as he lay in the street, according to witnesses. In the summer of 1980, Rollin 60s hitter by the name of Big Fred lured 8 member Cody Monster Scott to a surplus store. Cody was driven there by his homie Lil Hunchy Girl. She led Cody and Hunchy into an ambush.
One guy got a beard, a mustache, one guy got a beard, and one guy's clean shaven. But they're not dressed like gang members, and I don't see no bulges where they might be armed. So the guy walks up to me and he says, "Aren't you Monster Cody?" So I said, "Yeah, I'm Monster Cody. I'm from A-Tray Gangster. What's up?" And the guy reaches in his coat. He has a pea coat, but he can't get through the gun apparently because of the button. And when he reaches in his coat, Lil Hunchy runs and leaves me. When I look towards Lil Hunchy to the left and look back, the guy shoots me in the stomach. Shoots me in the stomach, point blank range, no closer than you and I are, and blows me against the wall. And the impact of the bullet, it doesn't really hurt me, but it surprises me. And the force of it blows me against the wall. And just out of survival, out of the instinct, I rush towards him, try to grab the gun, and he shoots me in the left hand. And my hand hits the wall like it's blown off, where I don't look at my hand. So now I know it's time to go. I turn around and try to run, he shoots me in the back. The bullet that hits me in the back knocks me down on my face, and I'm dazed. So now I'm getting up on my knees, and he kicks me in the stomach, kicks me over. So I have no alternative but to put my leg up, just try to shield a shot. And he shoots me 3 times in the left leg, and then they run off. Well, Lil Hunchy, he ran the entire block, and he comes back, and he asks me, "What happened?" "Well, damn fool, I'm shot. That's what happened."
Years later, Cody even claimed Fred Hill came to the hospital in a failed attempt to finish him off. Just a few months later in October, 14-year-old 8 James Cameron, aka Twinkie, would be walking his girlfriend to the bus stop. As he and his girl were walking, a blue 64 Chevy drove by, which belonged to 60s member Victor Smith, aka Pretty Boy. Twinkie spotted the Chevy and pulled his gun immediately, but his girlfriend told him just let it go, that they probably didn't even notice him. They continued to walk, and moments later the 6-4 came up behind Twinkie and fired 1 round from a long-barrel shotgun. Twinkie was hit in the upper left side, right below the armpit. Twinkie tried to run, but eventually he collapsed. He died from a buckshot hitting his heart. This war between the 60s and 8 would continue on as the years went by. On January 26, 1983, 8 member Daryl Opie Thompson was shot and killed in South Los Angeles in what authorities labeled a gang-related attack. He was ambushed by members of the rival Rollin 60s Crips. According to later first-hand accounts, Thompson was caught in a gated driveway and tried to escape by climbing a chain-link fence when he was struck by a single bullet to his side. He collapsed at the scene and died waiting for an ambulance before medical help could arrive. Thompson was just 18 at the time of his death, and his killing occurred in the heart of 8 territory near 67th Street. The prime suspect was identified as a young Roller 60s gang member Keith "Keita Rock" Parker. Parker allegedly confronted Thompson that day, and after the fatal shot, he was arrested and charged in the killing. He subsequently served prison time, approximately a decade, for Thompson's murder. Decades later, Parker, known on the streets as Keita Rock, would reemerge as a community counselor involved in gang intervention efforts after having spent much of the 1980s behind bars. Thompson's demise also influenced the power dynamics on 67th Street. He had been the 8 key man on that block, which meant his absence created a vacuum.
But it's like when Opie died, it seemed like everything done changed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was the separation. Like,
yeah,
it's over.
Cause everybody was cool with Ope. Ope was cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real. He was cool. None of them was cool. But it seemed like he the one kept everything going over there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Order, structure.
Yeah.
Just a bigger piece of the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? You know how you got some people that can just bring the togetherness, or however you want to call it. I'll say that.
So he was a major dude for the Northside A-Trace.
Mm-hmm.
So if Opie didn't die, there might not be any 6-7 neighborhood kids.
I would keep it real. I would keep it real.
On May 23rd, 1983, Rollin 60s members Kenny Johnson, a.k.a. Ken Bone, and Kevin Kid Sykes was shot and killed. It's reported that Johnson and Sykes were shot to death after they had allegedly killed an 8-Tray member known as Frog. On May 26, 1984, Willie Glover Barlow Jr., was better known on the streets as OG Chili Capone, was shot to death in the CVS parking lot near the intersection of South Sepulveda Boulevard and National Boulevard in the Palms area of Los Angeles. Barlow ran a clique within the 60s called Arlington Gangsters alongside his cousin Eugene Big U Henley. As the years went by, bloodshed continued. On September 7th, 1985, Stanford Mumbles Bursey was a 24-year-old member of the Rollin 60s Crips, went to a liquor store at 1355 West Florence Avenue. While there, he ran into a man named Tommy Ross, a.k.a. Joker, from 8-Tray.
I was getting ready to go to Carson. I was getting ready to go visit a young lady. So I stopped by to get something to drink, right? I'm inside this liquor store. I'm at the counter. I see two people coming in the liquor store. I could tell they bangers. So I just spoke. I don't even hit them up or nothing. I just say, what's up? And then that's when Stanford, he say, what that West Side Rollin 60 like? Now, when he said that, I was shocked because I didn't expect that. And then when I looked towards the door, this little homie had his hand in his coat pocket like he had a gun. But as soon as he said that, my response was, what? You know, 8-Tray Gangster like. Then I hit him with the F-60s, right? I noticed some more people coming in the store. These were some of the people that I knew who stayed in my neighborhood. Not bangers, but lived in the hood. I saw the youngster take his hand out his coat. I do a beeline for the door. My car was parked right in the front. And I went in, the driver's side, got the gun that I had. Before I could fully get my hands on it, I saw him coming out of the door. But I already knew what I had to do. On this very corner, right around the corner, is where the shooting took place.
This death would have very serious repercussions that Joker didn't expect. 4 days after the shooting, on September 11th, 1985, Rollin 60s member Rodney Glaze, a.k.a. Petty Wack, and another man named Eric Dix would pull up to Joker's mother's home at 1351 West 51st Street. As they knocked on the door, 54-year-old Bessie Ross, Joker's mother, answered. When Wack and Dix were told that Joker wasn't home, they opened fire shooting his mother. They then fatally wounded Joker's little brother, David, who died on the spot. Bessie would later pass at the hospital. In the aftermath, Ross went into hiding until his arrest by the LAPD's South Bureau Crash Unit. By late September 1985, he was charged with Stanford Bursey's murder. He would be sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole. After serving 36 years in prison, he was released in 2022. In January of 1986, Glaze and Dix would be arrested for the murder and later convicted to life in prison. In May of 1988, a man named Buford B.J. Bates of the 46th Neighborhood Crips met with a man named John Porter from the 8-Trays. BJ's girlfriend, Kelly Davis, set up the meeting. BJ sold him 2 pounds of cocaine for $14K, but the 8-Trays find out later is flour. Now, after being played out of $14K, 8-Tray members Deatrie Denard, a.k.a. Crazy D, and John Porter kidnapped Kelly Davis, forcing her into Porter's mother's house. Davis was not able to reach Bates by phone. Crazy D then called a man named Dayon Lively, who came over to the apartment. Once he arrived, they then drove in a beige-colored Jeep to another apartment where another man named Lindell Jackson showed up. Davis then told Crazy D where BJ lived and what kind of car that not only BJ drove, but also that his sister Nina Bates drove a red 1988 Hyundai. They all then put on ski masks and gloves and went on the hunt for BJ and his sister Nina. Two friends, Jamie Finney, 13, and Latanja Stover, 18, were standing outside 1700 block of West 46th Street when they noticed a beige Jeep with masked gunmen. Immediately, they got into Stover's red Pontiac Le Mans. The 8 Trays chased the two girls down St. Andrews and rammed into their car. They then hopped out and opened the red car's hatchback and opened fire, killing the teens. They had killed 2 females. Neither had any association with BJ or Nina Bates. Later that day, Crazy D and the other 8 Trays were taken into custody late Monday at a rock house at 13132 South Vermont Avenue. Police confiscated a .38 caliber handgun and a 9mm Uzi rifle from a garage on West 75th Street, which were linked to the murders. In 1991, Crazy D and the other 8 Trays were convicted and sentenced to life. The war continued all through the 90s and even spilled into the 2000s. On May 31st, 2015, Carl Betts, a 51-year-old black father with no gang ties, was shot to death at 85th Street and St. Andrews Place simply because he was misidentified as an 8 Tray affiliate. According to investigators, a gunman confronted Betts asking, "Where you from?" And not satisfied with Betts' answer, he was actually from out of state. The shooter assumed he was from 8 Tray and killed him with a gunshot to the chest. Authorities believe the suspect was from 60s. Days later, a known 8 Tray Gangster Crip member nicknamed Michael G. With-It Washington was fatally wounded. Washington had just stepped out of a nearby liquor store and was walking back to his car when another vehicle pulled up. A man got out and opened fire, striking Washington and 3 others, including a woman standing on the sidewalk. That wraps up this video. Make sure to tap in on the next story.